Right, gold, boys. Now, this one I didn't believe when I saw it. But let's see. Remove 2 base strength from all opposing non-gold units on the battlefield and add 1 base strength to all non-gold units on your side of the battlefield. Okay, so it's kind of like a Stammelford's Tremor, but you also add base strength to your side. Absolutely, completely different to what I thought. It's actually very reminiscent of the old Cypher and Wily ability. Weather is just, you know, this is likely not the final change. To be honest, it was different to this a minute ago. Last time I checked the PTR yesterday, it was do 13 damage. That was it. It was like do 1 damage 13 times. But I'm not sure. This is weird. It's like the old Cypher and Wily thing where, sort of, basically you remove 2 strength from the opponents and you add +1. Oh no, you move 2 base from the opponent and you add 1 base to you. So it's base strength. That's a big deal. I think that's a big deal anyway. There might be instances where removing 2 base strength is really beneficial. It would wreck like monster breed decks. You know, loads of eggs and loads of golems and loads of... It's still a huge swing, yeah. It could be potentially quite a big swing. It's definitely valuable, but I don't know. I'd love to see someone try and use it. I might do it myself. Becca still says... Well, it doesn't say non-gold, so it's still great. That's something I was very relieved of when I first read it. But the strongest and weakest units, strength around. Good. Still does golds. Non-permadeath, so you can't bring out Shani. That's basically all that's about. That's a bit of a nerf there. Lock and destroy a non-gold unit. That's decent. Decent now. Why are you dressed like a mortician? This is my... What are you talking about? Assassination's good. It's decent now. I like it. Dijkstra 1 strength, disloyal. Oh my lord. Look at any gold card in your deck, place 1. Wow, it's a 1 strength. There's almost no negative to that. Almost no negative whatsoever. Pretty much just... Oh, you got Dijkstra? Here you go, you can play a different one instead. That's really good now. That is insane. It's like deck thinning. Just deck thinning, really. There's almost no negative whatsoever on Dijkstra. Letho banishes 4 cards. You got to place him in the middle of those 4 cards. And he absorbs the strength, but obviously it gets reset to base strength even when locked when it goes to the graveyard. Shani is 2. There we go. Just a bit of a nerf there. Cambi, I believe, has changed, unfortunately. No, it's all the same. No Cambi change. Same dealio. I mean, I still, like I mentioned before on the bronze one, this gold, this blue border here makes it kind of look silver when it first comes in. It's a bit hard to distinguish sometimes. You cannot res Borh. Ah, yeah. Can't res Borh. So renew was actually Shani and Villain Tressenmer. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's good. That is real good. Really good. I like that. Happy days, and he's 4 strength. That's a big deal. What does that mean? What does that mean? After 3 turns, destroy the strongest non-gold units twice in a row. So he still does the same. He's 4 strength. So demoting him is probably not going to cause him to scorch himself. So I think the big strategy-wise, he's not really going to scorch himself ever, unless you demote him and then Thunderbolt, Swallow Potion him or something. But he is easily killable. Not while he's gold, though. You'll have to shackle him and kill him. You know, he's very easy. Any Manticore Venom. A lot of bronze units don't do 4 wounding. They do 3, so you're pretty much going to need Manticore Venom or a lock. Mushrooms will go down to base 3, which won't be enough. But he's 6 strength for Northern Realms. It's pretty much, yeah, just shackle him. Done. That's probably the best thing you can do. If he's locked, who cares? Exactly. They can unlock him. Don't forget they can unlock him. I think everyone's forgetting. If locks are so prevalent, but I'm going to just unlock him then. Done. Yeah. But everyone forgets that you can unlock him too. Nice, I like it. hopefully that's a big deal. I like that you don't have to deal with him twice. I think I'm okay dealing with him once, but dealing with him twice was just absurd. 4 strength. So that's a nerf too. At the start of your turn, remove 1 strength from the strongest opposing non-gold units. She's gone back to her old ways. She doesn't resolve randomly. It's not random. She's still the way she was, by like absolutely wrecking the opponent, but you can lock her. But they can unlock her. But you can lock her. But they can unlock her. But then again, she is killable. You know, very easily killable. She's not permadeath, so she can come back out. It's a mixture on that one. You know, I guess she doesn't need to change if locks are so prevalent. But then if they've got an unlock, then it's just like, I wasted my card, you wasted yours. She's back to the way she was. And she's resurrectable now. So it kind of doesn't solve anything. You know, if you destroy her, they'll probably just resurrect her. If you lock her, they'll probably just unlock her. 4 strength gold. You may play a special card from your hand. If you do so, draw a card. So, yeah, decent. 6 strength. Because of Northern Realms. And it's deck thinning. Play a card. Play a thing. I don't know if people will do that. They generally have quite some more powerful golds. They might not want to take her. When did this patch launch? This is the private PTR. So, I really like this ability. I discussed it before. You get a lot of flexibility with this one. 4 strength. You place it loyal or disloyal. And you set the strength of the unit on the right, that of the unit on the left. So you take the strength of the unit on the left that's non-gold, and you put it to the strength of the one on the right that's non-gold. So you can either buff up something really high on your side, and then transfer that onto something really low on your side, and get 6 strength while you're doing it. But it obviously sets up an Eithne, so you got to be careful. Or a Scorch, possibly. Maybe. Or you can use it on the opponent's side and get something really high from the left and put it onto something really low on the right. So you've got 2 massively high units on the opponent's side. Give them 4 strength while you do it. But then you could Scorch them dead. Or you could get something really low on the left and put it to something that's really high on the right. So you've got 2 really low units. A lot of flexibility on this one. I'm thinking, a lot of people think the Quen ability she had might go to something like Geralt Quen. So he'll do that in the future. I did like the ability she did, unless they felt like it was too strong. But I don't think so. No one really used her. And if they did, half the time it wasn't useful because no one had any answers. So, Madman Lugos, same as before. It just sets the base strength even when locked. And locking is probably just going to ruin him quite a bit. If like you haven't put anything else worthy of a lock. Which I don't know how many Skellige things have worthy locks, you know. If you take Yennefer Conjurer, that'll take it. If you take Borh, that'll take the lock. But if you don't take those kinds of things, because normally this deck doesn't, then he's going to be the lock target. Because they'll have that card until the end of the game. 5 strength now. So 7. Add 2 strength to all non-gold units in your hand, which doesn't get removed. So this is just a permanent plus 2 strength to all units that are in your hand. Might protect things like poor infantry. The initial one, at least, it will protect, you know, field menace will be 6 strength. The reinforced ballista will be 8 strength. So decent. She's not relentless. She's not permadeath. She's not anything. You can shackle her, decoy her, medic her, and just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going, and just get up mad strength on your units if you've got any units left at that point. But yeah, you can reuse them multiple times if you can figure out how to do it effectively. And they won't lose the buff. Nice. Add 2. It should say strength. Add 2. No, just add 2. That's interesting. I'd like someone to go crazy with that one. A glaze. Not relentless now is probably the main thing. So she's reverted back to the way she was, in that you can use a Scorch. And then Nature's Gift the Scorch. And then a glaze the Scorch. And then Anya to replay a glaze into Scorch. And then play Borh into double Scorch. And then play Shiro into Scorch. Okay, so there you go. I look fine. I'm fine, thanks. If the lighting's a bit weird, then I apologise for that. Yeah, exactly. So the thing about that is that, yeah, I mean, if you try and do this crazy tactic where you decoy her and all that, then you are going to use all your cards by that point, so you won't have anything in your hand. But it's a bit of a nerf, I think, a bit of a nerf, because you don't lose it, which is good in the long run, but usually you get rid of a lot of your cards early on. So if your APM is high enough, you can do 9 Scorches in your... Yeah, exactly. Shiru, same thing, I think. Same thing. Same thing. So she is the same, but these guys, they don't affect gold units anymore. Golds are really not able to be affected by anything anymore. So, yeah. I have a catapult now. 6 strength. And these are only 1 strength now, but they are spawned, so the Savage Bear can't hit them. Add 2 strength for all non-gold units removed. 4 spaces to the left. And the same thing on there. You can use these on either side of the board, I believe. And yeah, so maximum of 9 value from these alone, plus the 6 from him, or 7, 8 if you're Northern Realms. I get 1 strength is really good though if you choose to use it on the opponent's side of the board. It's not a huge. Usually 3 strength they would like kind of pretty much just negate themselves half the time, but now it's decent, so that's a bit of a nice change there. Except for a bronze card, exactly. Golds aren't affected by anything apart from 1 bronze card. Bloody Baron. I believe these guys are just fleeting is the only change to this. So they won't go into the graveyard. You can't resurrect a Lubberkin, which was a strategy I saw recently, which was really nice. I did a video on it actually, the Baby Rage video. John Natalis saw a nice change. Bit less value. So he was 16, but now he's only 14 worth. But he adds 3 base strength for a non-gold unit on your side, then 2, then 1. But you can stack it up onto the same unit. So you only need 1 other unit to make this effective, which is way better. I think the flexibility is much better than the 2 value extra. And I think a lot of people might run him for more reasons. I believe he's the same. Remove 6 strength from a non-gold unit on the battlefield. So you can target your own side, but it is non-gold now. And this is going to be similar for all the Triss, all the Vernon Roche, the Wild Boar, stuff like that. So you can target your own side. Obviously, the main thing that comes into mind is Rot Tosser, but that's going to be an overwhelmingly suboptimal play if you really need to. But if you really need to, you can do it. But it's got to be non-gold, so you can't destroy Cambi anymore. You can't destroy Yennefer Conjurer outright with him. You can't destroy Ciri. You can't destroy Borh, which is only 4 strength now. So basically, you have to lock these things or demote them at least before you can do anything about them. Eithne now locks 3 units that are next to each other, or unlocks them. Right. Can be decent, but don't know how decent that would be. I think if you're playing against... This is probably a prime example of where positioning means a lot. You could lock 3 adjacent units, but most of the time people are going to squeeze in things that don't give a shit about being locked in the middle. So like Mahakam Defender, Alva Mercenary, Mahakam Defender. Oh, I can't hit both. How unfortunate for you, Eithne. Like Yorveth. I'd like to see gold cards like him that can target ambush cards. Yeah, maybe. That might be interesting. Yorveth. Same thing here. We're just gonna assume that he's fixed the you know, like his bugs have been fixed. So if you discard a special, he still activates. Let's hope. And if you play him, so even when you've only got 1 card left, he still draws cards, hopefully. Right. So it says range and siege only, so she hasn't seen a change. Well, Borh. Again, so this is another thing very much like Yorveth. He's actually better than Yorveth. He's just a way better version of Yorveth. So 6 strength like Yorveth. And he does 6 wounding. Remove 3, then remove 2, then remove 1. Just like Yorveth. But, unlike Yorveth, he can target 3 different units or stack it all on 1 person. So He's got the same wounding as your Veth, but he can spread it around if like the unit's only worth 3 value, and you can get optimized strength. But again, you can target units on your side, which is better than your Veth. Well, the same as your Veth, but you could target 3 from the opponent, 2 from the opponent, 1 from the Rot Tosser on your side. So much better than your Veth. Okay, so it is a good card. Don't get me wrong, it is a good card, but it's unfortunate that it's not what it was. Why is the Wild Boar strictly better? If you demote it, then it will start getting the Skellige deck ability. You can res it out and get mad value for it again. If you want to do that, it's up to you. But actually, there's no way to demote in other factions without locking, is there? If you want to demote something on your side, if you're not Northern Realms, you have to lock it at the same time. Not that it matters, because you've already used its ability at that point. But it's not weather immune anymore. So you're not doing that tactic anyway. Geralt Ard. Was it? Yeah, it was always 7 strength. Again, positioning patch on this one. So just 3 units pushing back. It makes thematic sense that you push 3 units together, but it is a nerf. You're going to be using things to spread your really powerful units apart quite a lot, so it is a nerf. Vernon Roche, same thing, 5 strength, so not as good as the Wild Boar, but he's got 1 strength there. So he's worth the same amount, but he can't spread it around, and he can only affect non-gold units. But he can affect units on your side if you want. If someone's playing, like, if they played a Rot Tosser, and you decoyed it, the cow carcass, and they decoyed it, then, you know, you've got probably like a 7 strength one, and he could do some damage to it. Draug. Remove 1 strength from a random opposing non-gold unit 7 times. So he still works with weather, but Ragnarok doesn't do weather. So weather, really, you could only do 1 row at a time with weather. Weather is no longer at all about overwhelming the board with weather. It's really relentless pressure on 1 or 2 rows. It's pretty much all you've got. You know, you have to put 1 weather down at a time, 1 weather down at a time, 1 weather down at a time, and he wants to clear skies it 1 at a time if you can. Weather is all about relentless weather on 1 particular row, most likely. It probably makes the Drowner deck a bit more surprisable, or the Foglet deck a bit more viable, rather than just weather all over the board. So you can't do Ragnarok plus this guy, but you can do like fog, rain, and then frost, because you think he hasn't got any clear skies, then do this guy. So he's worth a lot, though. He's worth 14, but only to non-golds. He's the same. She's got a nerf in 1, well, buff in 1 point, because you play it disloyally. But you, oh, where's my stuff? I was about to say, but you can just lock her and gain 7 value, can't you? You could just shackle her and gain 7 value for being playing that. So she's a very bad card to play now. It takes 2 turns, and if they've got a shackle, that's it. You just give them 7 strength. Cheers, bruv. Nice one. That's a really dangerous card to play now, because I think shackles are coming in a lot. So I think she's got an inherent nerf there, which is too dangerous to play. Sometimes you wouldn't even get value from her anyway. They did buff her strength because she's disloyal. But yeah, it's too dangerous. Saskia, 7 strength, so a bit of a nerf. But remove 1 strength from all opposing non-gold, add 1 strength. So still good value there, I think. Isengrim's the same, but he's one of the characters which, again, is going to be very susceptible to lock. A primary lock target if someone's trying to do this. You just lock it, you don't have to deal with it anymore. But then again, don't forget, people can unlock it. So if everyone's taking the same amount of locks, you've got to consider, is it worth to unlock Isengrim, because they probably won't have another lock. Or maybe they would. I mean, they might take a shackle, which will lock it, and they might take cleaver. So once you've shackled it, if they unlock it, you can cleaver it, because it's now silver. So you've got to consider these things. I think a lot of people will take 2 locking mechanics. Can I chat how timers work with locks and unlocks? We don't know yet. We can test it when we get in. He's been nerfed a bit again. Another primary lock target, but he only stays on for 1 round, and he can't be buffed by Barclay. Your opponent has that's all the same. Yep. Basically, it reads as 7 strength gold, gain 15 strength, and you'll give your opponent all his gold cards pretty much. But only doesn't really. But so she's the same as your Vernon Roche and your Veth. But she's much better in the sense that you generally don't want to wound just your own side for more, and you can only hit non-gold. So 5 is not generally enough. 6, a lot of the important targets have gone to 8. There may still be some 6 targets for your Veth, like Orkvist, I think is still 6. A nerf to 8. Not much, but it could make a bit of difference. Still the same. Again, sets the base strength to 8 even when locked, because that was going to be a peculiar thing they could do. She's 8 strength. He's 8 now. A little bit higher. I haven't got that card. I've got the premium version. 8 strength, same thing. Destroy a non-gold unit if that unit was on your side. Yada yada yada. You may only target. Yep. So he's the same. He's seen a change with the positioning system. Gain weather immunity, so he gets it. Choose any opposing unit. So he can't actually choose your own side. That is important. Remove 3 strength and 1 strength from opposing non-gold units. Adjacent non-gold units. But he also can't target golds. So that is quite a... It doesn't seem like monsters have a self-wounding gold. Doesn't seem, unless I'm mistaken. But they really don't need it. Ekimaras will do the job, usually. Stefan Skellen, same thing. Bernabrand got a buff. But also a nerf. She draws 2 cards and you keep one and discard the other. So less deck thinning. Less likelihood that you're going to draw 2 really good things and have to discard one of them. But then again, if you play correctly, that was never an issue. So... Let me just check. Someone's saying Imlerf can target golds. No. Choose any opposing unit. Remove 3 strength from it if it's not gold. So you can't target golds. And 1 strength from adjacent non-gold units. So he can't target gold still. But he also can't target your own side. So Bernabrand's a bit of a buff, bit of a nerf. I'm fine with that. I think, you know, Skellige discards, they could get through their entire deck and they would do it. Now it's a little harder. Meno, same thing. Here saw a big change, remember. If your opponent has not passed, enable your leader ability for use. And your opponent draws the top bronze from in their deck and reveals it. This is generally a good change in my opinion. It stops the BS tactic at the end. But also the top bronze is generally not going to be worth as much as your leader card plus 10 strength. So I'd say this is a good one to choose. It's unlike Tibor where my track record is 90% they pull their gold card, which wins them the game. This is going to limit it to a bronze card, which you do want to use in the end of round 3, probably, so they don't have massive combo potential with that particular gold card. Like, if you pull an Axeman, if they've already used all their wounding options, then it's not that big of a deal. So you probably will see him at the end of particular rounds. But might kill the Cambi archetype, maybe. Not that card. But he hasn't changed. Geralt hasn't changed. But, you know, if he's locked, he didn't give a shit. So, yeah, maybe. And I believe he's not changed. But again, he can be locked before the Lord of Undvik dies to prevent the 10 strength. But, you know, you could just lock him and reset his base strength or something, or weather him. So it doesn't matter about giving him that if you lock him and weather him or something like that. And that's it. All gold cards. People saying that they think maybe 10 is too much for him. Nilfgaard Golds do have a lot of strength if you start looking at things like these. You know, they have really powerful abilities. 10, 10, 11, and they do a lot. As well as Stefan Skellen, which is 9, which is a lot, and does an ability. Lock, 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 locks everywhere. But don't forget, unlocks, unlocks, unlocks everywhere. Ravid, we didn't look at him. Choose 3 adjacent units. Lock all non-gold units amongst them and remove 2 strength from the locked units. So you can only lock non-gold units. You can only lock non-gold units. He can't affect golds. He doesn't do 2 strength to the golds because they have to be locked. So he doesn't get rid of Borh. So he's not really that oppressive. They have to be together. It's like an Eithne, to be honest. It's kind of like Eithne, isn't it? But with an extra 2 damage. So, in fact, isn't that just exactly Eithne? I think that's just exactly Eithne. If you get maximum value out of him, he is Eithne. Basically, he doesn't demote anyone. He doesn't affect golds whatsoever, just like Eithne. Eithne is 6 strength. If he gets maximum value, he does 2, 2, 2. So that's 6 strength. And they have to be 3 adjacent units, just like Eithne. But the opponent has to have 3 units, whereas Eithne, you get the 6 value without that. So he's like a worse Eithne. Yeah, it is a worse Eithne because the opponent has to have 3 units on the board on a particular row that are non-gold. Whereas Eithne, you get the 6 strength value from it without it, and you can lock a unit if you see it. Whereas if he only locks 1 unit, he only does 2 damage. You can target your own units on this one, but it doesn't say you can unlock. So you have to lock your own units. But yeah, this is like an anti-Herald. Pretty good with the breeding decks. You can get +2 on all your fire elemental, your golems, your Gauntro dim shadows, your Arrakis, you know, your Wildhunt Riders. You can breed the Arrakis for more. So yeah, he's pretty good in the breeding archetype. So I'd like to try that in the future. He does the exact same. He still does First Light, which is what everyone was thinking maybe he shouldn't have. Redraws 3 cards. Non-relentless. Silvers. Still the same. Still the same. He just does a blanket +2. Now. Which makes me sad. Like, you don't have to plan for him. You just do it when you want it. You don't. It's easy to calculate, but he doesn't affect golds. He used to affect golds. So he's been nerfed 2 times over. But he's still quite viable, I would say. Is Foltest the same? Foltest is the same, but he's just got a bit of text difference. Tells you can't do it on spies. Choose a non-spying bronze unit on your side of the battlefield. Spawn a deck copy on the same row. So it is the same, but it's just tells you can't do it on spies, which is something which we figured out already. Reveal 3 random cards. Look at the top 3, play 1. Move all spying cards, same thing. So it's only Ravid, Herald, and Gells which have changed. All reasonable changes. I don't know if I like that though. I don't see the point. Just seems locking non-golds could be good, but I mean it would be good against Axeman. The 2 strength is negligible. I don't understand. How's it going? So I'm already in my pajamas and I can't be bothered to set the green screen up again, so you've got a burger. So I wanted to add to the Ravid aspect. Now, I've played the game quite a bit now, and I've played against several Radavids, and I did actually feel still quite oppressed. Him having a lock or a couple of locks guaranteed throughout the entire game is still quite oppressive. It might just be in the decks that I was playing. I was playing things like Reinforced Trebuchet. I want 3 of those on the board. Ballistas, I want 3 of those on the board if possible. You know, he works great against Foglets. They're locked and dead immediately due to the base strength wounding that he does. Okay, so he does still feel pretty good. I think he is still viable. You know, Margarita, you probably just want to maybe, for maximum effect, possibly combining with the people that just demote. So the Kedwani Sergeants, maybe. Then you can demote golds and still lock them, rather than taking shackles, because then maybe you could demote some of your own golds. So I think he is still viable, still very oppressive. You know, you've got 3 Axemen on the board, they're all locked, and the opponent probably doesn't have enough locks to unlock them. So yeah, he's still pretty good, I think, still viable. Sometimes he may not be as useful is the issue, but yeah, I still think he's viable. I think the knee-jerk reaction was that, you know, he can't win golds, he's crap. And I fell into that as well, as you saw, because I'm pretty much changing my tune a little bit around him now. So yeah, still viable, I think.